Hello everybody, thank you for coming to my speech today. Today we're going to be talking about something that's huge in our culture, and that is gumbo. Imagine this, you're at your favorite holiday, you're sitting around your family and your loved ones, waiting for the food and the festivities to be served. Well, what comes to your table? Turkey, ham, beef? Well, when I imagine this scene, the only food that comes to my mind is gumbo. Gumbo has been a staple in Cajun households for as long as culture has existed. It is served pretty much every gathering at every function in my family. So today, I want to first talk about the history of gumbo. Gumbo to me has been around my whole life, but the roots go way further back. The name of gumbo derives from a West African word for okra, suggesting that the gumbo was originally made with okra. Spiceinc.com says, the true story of gumbo starts in 1719, when enslaved Africans were brought to the French colony of Louisiana. Within 2 years, more than half the population was made up of African slaves, who were brought their mighty fine cooking skills with them. Even before written references to gumbo were taken, these Africans knew how to cook gumbo and would prepare it in kitchens for their owners. The dish today still spans after barriers and ethnicities, just like it did when it was first brought to America. That might be why it's the official dish of Louisiana. The first written reference to the dish gumbo, was in 1764, when a 50-year-old slave was interrogated because she was suspected of being in cahoots with the slaves who had stolen her clothes and a pig. She was asked if she had given another slave gumbo, and she admitted that she did. The phrase was then taken by a French journalist 2 years later, and the rest was history. So now that we have the knowledge of the history of gumbo and where it came from, I would like to delve into the ingredients that made that delicious dish. Traditionally, gumbos have been divided into two large categories, those thickened with okra and those thickened with filet. According to some accounts, before the advent of refrigeration and freezers, okra was the preferred thickening agent for gumbo, while filet was a substitute only used in the off-season when okra wasn't available. That sounds plausible, but there's also references to dried okra as an ingredient in the 19th century gumbos. By drying okra, cooks could use it in their gumbos year-round, as stated in an article by foodwaste.org. Most gumbos made today are with roux, a combination of flour and some sort of fat, browned in a pot to give a dark and robust flavor to any stew-like Cajun dish. There are many options for what to add to your gumbo. Some people prefer seafood wrap, which is called for shrimp and crab claws, and some go for the chicken wrap, which is chicken and sausage and some other meats, including lunch meat. And some put eggs and ham, and to be honest, there's almost no boundaries to what you can put in it, within reason. So now that we know what gumbo was, how gumbo was made, I would like to talk about its delicious dish's cultural impact. Gumbo is a staple in Cajun households. It's affordable, it tastes good, and it makes a great option for big families. This is the reason why it's been around for as long as it has been. It made feeding big families possible with families with lower income, and it brings to the table this flexibility within our culture, because most Cajuns are Roman Catholics. And with this religion comes days where we aren't allowed to eat meat that isn't seafood. So we just swap our chicken gumbo out for seafood gumbo. This dish just isn't a helpful and affordable staple to making meals. It's also one of our culture's favorite and flavorful meals, as it brings over people from far and wide. As this article in 64 Parishes says, the term gumbo is loaded with meaning. To be sure, it refers to the dish itself, but having a gumbo can also denote the social event during which soup will be served. So essentially, people will come far and wide to experience gumbo pots, like big events, as seen in here. So this dish doesn't bring families together, it brings everyone together. So in conclusion, gumbo isn't just a dish. Honestly, it's a masterpiece of historical culture and togetherness. And this feat can only be possible through the Cajun culture. We have the ability to turn things as common as food dishes and random days of the week into significant moments where we get to share the laughs and loves with the people we get to call family. So, let's raise our bowls to our culture and beautiful things it created and say one of my favorite lines, Ça c'est bon.
Ça c'est bon.
Thank you.